There we go. Oh, look at me already. I've got all kinds of things just going right off the front end. I'll just play that so that I can say we did it. There we go. My name's Bill. I'm in the Front Range of Colorado. I look east and it's kind of flat and very farmlandish, and I look west and it's the Rocky Mountains. But I don't live in the Rockies. I could drive 45 minutes to the west and it's absolutely fantastic because I'd be in the mountains. But I don't live in the mountains. I live next to the mountains. So it's Bill next to the mountains is kind of where I am. Today, I'm doing something just a little bit different. I'm talking about YouTube success from a completely different standpoint. Nobody has ever done it this way before or talked about it this way before. And there's a good reason, is because what I'm going to show you is proprietary. I have spent the last 4 years slowly yet deliberately developing this concept. And it is a life process. Kind of like, okay, if you're absolutely clueless, and I was about five and a half years ago, I found myself in the corner of the living room crying, asking God to take my life because I felt absolutely useless to my family, useless to my wife, useless to my daughter. I felt like a paperweight that didn't weigh anything. I was that useless, and God didn't answer my prayer to take my life. He slowly just walked me back into it, just step by step, into rethinking and redefining purpose. And out of that, I started diving really deep into a life purpose concept, a life purpose discovery and concept. And so when I walk in my office, and I'm sorry, you might be thinking, what does this have to do with YouTube, Bill? Well, I'll get to it in just a minute. I promise. I'm going to close some distractions that are on my there. So I've got, wonder where that went. Anyway, I've got to find something. All of a sudden, I just did a video on, and just uploaded it on file organization for your YouTube channels, and now I can feel like I am completely lost, personally. But I still have found and am diving into my purpose, and part of my purpose is being able to share that on YouTube. And so I'm doing a lot with how to organize YouTube and how to work in YouTube and how to grow in YouTube, and I'm learning the growth process in YouTube right now because, as you know, I'm just in the beginning stages. I'm working on getting subs. And anyway, my throat's going to give out. I hope it doesn't. But what I've got is, and this represents about 4.5 years of my life as far as studying and digging and going. And it looks like that. And I've titled it the Unwasted Life, where I'm unwasted. Because at the time, I felt like my life was a complete waste. I felt like I was taking up somebody else's air. And that's a terrible place to be. Absolutely terrible. Now, with that in mind, I'm going to take this and I'm going to apply it to the YouTube journey and YouTube growth concept. So I'm going to, because I've kind of lost myself here, I'm going to pull this graphic in. Oh, look at that. Would you look at that? Wait. There we go. There's the whole page. And because it's proprietary, I know you're not going to be able to read that. I get that. And if you have any questions or anything about it, that'd be great. But I'm going to walk. It's basically 5 things. And it is the world's most... Great. Now I've lost my mouse. Anybody ever have issues like, I love doing lives. You never know what's going to happen. You just don't. And it's me. It's not you. Where have we heard that before? But there's 5 main things. This is the world's most intricate Venn diagram. Every connection is a connection. Every circle is very specific to a thing, and there's an order to it. And there's even a circle around the Venn, which is part one. And so I'm not really going to show that. I'm just going to kind of walk us through it. So there's 5 things, and I want to relate this to you starting a YouTube channel and you creating YouTube videos and creating a presence and a following online. So first thing. Oh, look, that worked. No, it didn't. There. That might pop up every time, and it's saying welcome. So I guess every time I change to a new scene, it's going to welcome, I guess. So, but the first one is faith, and that is the circle that surrounds those other 4. I had to step back into my faith, my trust in God. Now, you may or may not be a believer. That's okay. Your faith, you can represent that as your belief system. You believing, your guiding principles, whatever it may be. For me, it's my faith in Christ. So I'm going to talk from that end. You may have to transpose this into whatever guides your life and you know what that is. But I'm going to talk from a faith standpoint, and that's where I'm going to come. But I had to dive into, first of all, my faith in who I am in Christ. Now, how does that relate to a YouTube channel? Well, for me, I'm not afraid to share my faith, share my beliefs, my personal beliefs online. I put them out there. You can walk away from me. You can dive in with me, whatever the case may be. But this is the circle that surrounds the other 4 circles. It surrounds them. It engulfs them, so to speak, because what you believe is going to come out into your YouTube channel, regardless of what your YouTube channel is about. If your YouTube channel is about crocheting booties for kittens, which I think is very niche, how you present is going to come out in part by what you believe and how you believe these things. So please understand something. For me, I'm going to share some of the dangers in each of these 5 areas real quick. When it comes to faith, I'm not talking about organized religion. I am not talking about a denomination. I'm not talking about an organized religion. I'm not even talking about a theology. I'm just talking about faith in Christ. That's it. There's nothing more dangerous to your faith than organized religion. You can quote me on that. There's nothing more dangerous than that. Absolutely nothing. So keep that in mind. Now, excuse me, that encompasses the other 4. I've got something to share, and it comes from my belief system, and I want it to come through, even though I'm going to be doing tutorials and teaching and process about a YouTube channel. My faith is going to come out. It will. And I'm not going to shy away from it. And whatever your belief system is, it is going to come out. In whatever it is you're teaching, it's going to be there. And people will eventually notice who you represent for the most part. That'd be my guess. Now, if you're into crocheting booties for kittens, I'm not sure, if I did that, I'm not sure if my faith came out in it unless I made it a point to, bring it out in little booties for kittens that I crocheted, but that's not my niche. That I'll leave that to somebody else. But the first one is faith, and it's it surrounds the others, and it'll permeate into the other 4 areas that I'm talking about. The second one is mindset. I'm shifting over here. Here's where I'm going. Mindset. I've noticed, and I've spent a lot of money. I'm talking about tens of thousands of dollars in learning various online marketing concepts and marketing and websites and going to conferences and learning systems and developing systems and how do I do this and how do I've got a ton of learning. Fortunately, I didn't take out any student loans on any of it. I paid as I went along. Don't tell my wife. It's okay, she knows. Every one of them, in every one of their systems, whether they're talking about online marketing or launching or writing a book or marketing a book or whatever it is, every one of them, and I've got a lot of courses, every course talks about mindset. You got to have your head in the right space. That's what we're talking about with mindset. You can go deep, deep, deep into the idea of mindset. I've read books on it. I've studied it. I've gone through all of these different courses on it. Like I said, I've spent so much money on so many things. And mindset is at the forefront of all of them. And what are they doing? They're basically saying, listen, if you don't have the right mindset for it, don't even bother with the rest of it. Well, that's how it is with YouTube. That's how it is with your YouTube channel. If you're not into it, never mind. If you don't have the right mindset, saying now, YouTube isn't a get rich quick scheme. I get that. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You don't get rich quick on YouTube. This is a long game. This is a several year long game, possibly, before you get to the point of being monetized. I understand. But if your mind's not in it, just about everything else is going to fall apart. It really is. So you got to get yourself into the mindset of saying, you know what? I'm in this. I'm in it. I'm in it. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to, not get caught up in the statistics of it all, looking at it every day, seeing if you got another sub or if you've lost a sub or how's that latest video doing? I thought it was going to be great. And yet 3 people have decided to almost watch it. And you just keep working at it. But you have to have the mindset that you're going to grow a little bit every day and a little bit every week and a little bit every month. And you have to just keep at it and keep at it and keep at it. But if you don't have the mindset for it, it's going to drive you crazy. It's going to drive you absolutely bonkers. That being said, the next thing is focus. Once you have your mindset, you know your faith or your belief system is going to permeate into whatever it is you're teaching, doing, creating with videos and uploading them. You've got your mindset into the fact that I'm going to be in this. I'm in it. And you've created the idea that you're really going to make a go at doing YouTube on a very regular and consistent basis. So that's the mindset. But then there's the focus. What are you focusing on? Is it crocheting booties for kittens? I don't know. My niche is people my age and around my age, maybe a little younger, maybe a little older, and getting started on YouTube and talking about the concepts and the ideas and the ways to grow on YouTube. And again, I'm not one to talk about growth on YouTube. What I'm doing is I'm inviting you to join me in the journey of me growing on YouTube. Me failing, me succeeding, me working about whatever is next. But you've got to decide that you're going to really hone in and focus on these things. Really focus on what it is you're going to do. You don't just half-heartedly do things. Now, a lot of people can just, boom, I'm just going to get it out there. That might be a way to get your first video up. Just make it, get it up there. But then you've got to realize that if you're going to get better at it, you're going to have to dial in your focus on it just a little bit better. You're just going to have to do that. So the second thing is focus. Now, mindset and focus are internal in nature. They're internal. They're in here. They're in here. And you've got to realize the idea that I got to roll myself over even further. And this just feels weird because it doesn't seem like I'm sitting in front of the camera. But that's my problem, not yours. The idea of mindset and focus, these are internal. You have to master these internally. Some people, 10 minutes and they're doing something else. They're eating supper and watching YouTube shorts. They just can't, they just can't seem to focus on one thing at a time. And you have to really dial out a lot of other things and focus on that thing that you are really going to be working at if you're creating a YouTube channel. You've got to be really committed to the idea of of the whole booties for kittens thing. You really have to be committed to it. I don't know how other people do it. There is a YouTuber that has got quite a following. This is a guy in his late 20s, early 30s. He's just a guy. And he teaches crochet. Crochet. How to crochet hats, how to crochet this, how to crochet that. That's his niche. And he's teaching retired women how to crochet and everybody else. But he's got tens of thousands of subs on his channel. And this is what he does. He sits down and he crochets and he talks about crocheting. Again, not necessarily booties for kittens, but maybe, I don't know, maybe, but he's really learned how to focus on that one thing. So whatever your thing is, you've got to really learn how to focus on it and dial it in and work at it. So those two things, the mindset and focus, the idea of that is internal mastery. Once you conquer yourself, everything else becomes possible. Think about it that way. Once you conquer yourself, everything becomes possible. You go on different channels on YouTube and you see things that are very specific. Very specific. I watch a channel. Every time they make a video, I watch a channel. And this is pure enjoyment. There's nothing of substance to it. I watch an 8 to 10 minute video. Whenever they put one out, I don't miss. And it is Hot Wheels racing on a track. They've got they're pushing. They're within probably 6 months of 1 million subs. They are serious about it. And if you watch this channel, they dial it in. They really focus on it. If you become a member of their channel, you get to see behind the scenes how they make the track, and their tracks are elaborate because it's all they do. They have learned how to focus on the one thing. And if you focus on the one thing, wow, I mean, that's just crazy. Those two things, mindset and focus, that's internal mastery. That's up here. It's you and your mind getting into the right spot. Now, the next thing, that third circle is your. Now I got to sit. Now I got to lean to the side and sit up. Wow. So, superpower. Superpower is your skill set. You may want to start a channel about how to tune a car, how to modify a Jeep Wrangler. I have a 2004. Jeep Wrangler Rubicon, and fortunately I got it where it was already tweaked. The one I had before that was a 97 Jeep Wrangler, and I am not a gearhead. I'm not a mechanic. I change the oil and that's the end of it. But there's people that really teach you how to dial in. They just dial in. Their superpower is tweaking out Jeeps. And the only definition of a superpower is very simple. You're just ahead of somebody who doesn't know how to do that one thing. It's really that simple. I don't know how to change oil. Oh, I'll watch this guy. He knows how to change oil. That's it. Your superpower is only a superpower to the people that don't know how to do that one thing. So if you're in fourth grade, if you were a fourth grade kid, you were a superhero to the third grade kid that you helped, whether it was math or keeping bullies away at recess or whatever the case may be. That's what a superpower is. And that's all it is. So your channel on YouTube is you helping people who just don't know how to do that one thing or how to do that other one thing, whatever it is you're teaching. So think about that from that standpoint, and your superpower grows. For instance, editing a video. You may edit a video for the very first time and you don't have a clue what you're doing, but the more you do it, the better you get at it. You get a little bit better, and then a little bit better, and then a little bit better. I've used DaVinci Pro, free software for editing. I've used Camtasia. I've used CapCut. I've used Filmora. I've used Final Cut Pro. And I even took a course many, many, many years ago on Adobe's Photoshop. Is it Photoshop? Not just Photoshop. They have one for video, and I learned how to do that, but that was years and years ago. They've upgraded and advanced many things since then. But once you learn a little bit of it, you pick it up in the different types of software. So, and again, it's a superpower. You learn a little bit and you grow. You learn a little bit and you grow. You learn a little bit and you grow. And you're like a kid in fourth grade helping a kid in third grade. And then you're in fifth grade and you're helping a kid in fourth grade. And then you're a sophomore in high school, you're helping a freshman in high school. And it works like that. But your superpower is just you finding, developing, and delivering on what it is you know and how you do it. And that's what YouTube really is all about, is helping other people. Years and years ago, I was fresh out of college. I thought I knew everything. And within my first week of having a job, somebody told me, she just said to me, find a need and meet it. And I thought that was the dumbest thing in the world. It was the stupidest thing in the world. And I'm going to tell you why. It was the stupidest thing in the world because I was fresh out of college and I thought I knew it all. Yada, yada. I knew everything. Absolutely everything. And so I dismissed it until years later I thought back and I said, that's the best advice I've ever heard. That's absolutely amazing. That's the best thing I've ever heard. Just find a need and meet it. And then along comes YouTube, and what happens? People have a need. They find the need on YouTube because somebody else said, hey, there's a need, and I'll meet it. And I'll meet it. And so my goal with my channel is to find needs and meet those needs. Now, the last one is time. And this is the concept basically of productivity. Most everything from a productivity standpoint has some aspect of time involved in it. Master your time. Now, superpower in time, when I said mindset and focus it has to do with internal mastery, superpower in time have to do with external mastery. And this has to do with conquering your environment. Conquer your environment. Once you conquer your environment, everything else becomes available. If you learn how to work and develop your superpower. Now, you're not Superman. You don't just all of a sudden you don't just all of a sudden are super. You're not Spider-Man where you were nothing and you got bit and all of a sudden you can do all of these things that a spider can do. It's more like you're more like Iron Man because he had to think about it. He was put in a situation. I know it's a movie. I get it. It's a comic strip. I understand. But he was put in a situation where he had to create Iron Man. He had to figure out how to harness the power that he was kind of stuck with. I forget the origin of the thing that he has in his chest. It was actually keeping him alive. Anyway, again, just a movie. But he had to learn how to create his Iron Man suit in order to become, well, Iron Man. So it was a developmental thing. And then time, when you look at all of the productivity people on YouTube or anywhere else, it really comes down to mastering your time. For YouTube, like if you're learning new software for editing, the first time you edit software, it might take you an hour and a half, 2 hours to start figuring things out. But the next time, it's going to take you less because you've figured out some shortcuts and some keystroke shortcuts and a little bit more. And I find that in the last piece of software that I was using, there was an aspect that there wasn't a good way to do it, but I had to do it anyway. And in the current software that I'm using, 2 keystrokes and you're off. And same basic editing skills, but I'm learning how to do more in less time. That's kind of how it is. The first time you upload a video onto YouTube, you're saying, what is this? How do I do this? What should I put here? What should I put there? But after a while, when you're uploading videos several times a week, or even if it's once a week, you know what you're doing. Because you're learning how to do more in less time because you're developing your skill. Your superpower is developing your skill, and your time is being controlled much better because of how your superpower works. This is external mastery. So it's those 5 things. Now, you may or may not have a question or two. I would love to have a question about this. You can or even a comment where you say, Bill, I don't see how any of this has to do with YouTube. And you know what? That's okay. But I see how it fits very much into the ecosystem of YouTube. Your faith, your belief system is going to come out in what you do. Your mindset is in the idea that you're not going to quit. You're going to go at it in a positive light, and you're not going to quit. Basically, it's start and stop stopping. Put that down. Write down those 3 words. Start, stop, stopping. Your focus, what it is, what your niche is, what you're deciding upon your niche, and really focusing on that and going deep in it. Your superpower, developing how to do YouTube and how to do those things within your niche. And again, your niche could be, but not limited to, crocheting booties for kittens. And then time, doing it faster, doing it better, and taking care of the time, and also taking care of the time that others have. Like those people watching your video, you could say something in 40 minutes and they're not going to watch it, but you could say the same thing in 8 minutes and they'll get it and they'll come back because you only said it in 8 minutes. And I could keep going about this because I spent about 4 to 5 years developing this and going into the nuances of this thing, and not even on a YouTube standpoint. But anyway, it's a whole thing. That's going any deeper would leave the idea of what I'm doing here on YouTube. So if you have any questions or any thoughts, I would love for you to drop in a comment, drop in an idea, especially if you have an idea for what I could do in a new video or even in a new live. I would rather answer a question about video, answer a question about YouTube than me making, I got to come up with something on Tuesday. I'm going to do that until I start getting ideas from others, and then I'll use other people's ideas to do stuff on YouTube, if that makes sense, because answering the actual questions that people are asking is the best way to go when you're putting up videos on YouTube or even going live on YouTube. So I'm going to just hang around for another second. If you have any questions, that'd be great. If you just want to say hi, that'd be fantastic, because then if you say hi, I can push this button. I had to have a Jeep in there. My Jeep's red, that one's white, but you get the idea. And if on the off chance, because I'm several hundred subs away from getting monetized, you could do this. You could buy me a coffee, because I love coffee. By the way, this mug is my authentic Guatemalan mug, bought in the airport when I was leaving Guatemala the last time I was there. Just thought I'd share that. That has nothing to do with anything. I'm going to sign off. Thanks for tuning in. I'm here every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. I'm in that little mountain time where it's the forgotten time zone. I'm just saying. But it's the Rockies. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. Thanks for tuning in. My name's Bill. I'll see you in someone else's live, or I'll see you in this live. Take care.